A millionaire's company was on the verge of collapse when a poor cook came to his rescue. Who this woman really is will shock you. Sir, there's news from Michael. Scarlett Hayes burst into the room, breathlessly holding her trembling phone. The 28-year-old assistant's expression showed that she wasn't bringing good news. What news? Thorne asked in a cold voice. His eyes were on the window, but his attention was on Scarlett. He was in a car accident. He was taken to the hospital by ambulance. He's conscious, but the doctor says he won't make it to the meeting. Welcome everyone to the Golden Stories Heart family. Today's story is about a talented woman who struggled throughout her life and hid herself due to painful experiences from her past. You'll see how she showed courage when faced with an unexpected opportunity and how this changed everything. You'll find heartwarming romance, injustices that will anger you, and breathtaking intrigue. Ultimately, you'll witness a triumph that will bring tears to your eyes. You will see the power of love, the value of friendship, the punishment of the wicked, and the reward of the good. Get ready for an emotional journey that shows how hope shines even in life's darkest moments. It's a story that will make you laugh and cry. Dear viewers, please tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Don't forget to rate the story from 1 to 10 at the end. Let's begin. Enjoy watching. On the 57th floor of Blackridge Financial in the heart of Manhattan, alarm bells seemed to be ringing. Thorne Blackridge adjusted his silver tie while looking down at the magnificent view from the conference room's huge windows. But today, that view wasn't calming him. In fact, he became more tense with each passing minute. Sir, there's news from Michael. Scarlett Hayes burst into the room, breathless, her phone trembling in her hand. The 28-year-old assistant's expression showed that she wasn't bringing good news. What news? Thorne asked in a cold voice. His eyes were on the window, but his attention was on Scarlett. He was in a car accident. He was taken to the hospital by ambulance. He's conscious, but the doctor says he can't make it to the meeting. Thorne's hand froze on his tie. This is impossible. The deal we've been preparing for the past 6 months starts in 30 minutes. I called all the interpreter agencies, sir. No one can come on such short notice. The earliest is tomorrow. Tomorrow? Thorne's voice was high-pitched. Are we going to make Akira Takashi wait 6 months, only to tell him tomorrow? Scarlett gripped her phone tightly. What are we going to do, sir? Thorne slammed his fist on the conference table. If this deal doesn't happen, the company is finished, Scarlett. Viktor Ravenhill's sabotage has already been killing us. This Japanese deal is our last hope. I know, sir, but... Contact building management. Search all floors for anyone who speaks Japanese. Security, cleaning staff, cargo workers. It doesn't matter. Search everyone. Scarlett immediately opened the intercom. Emergency announcement. Attention all building residents and employees. Is there anyone here who speaks Japanese? Please come to the 57th floor immediately. 15 minutes passed. The security guard who knocked on the door did not bring good news. Sir, we searched all the floors. No one speaks Japanese. There was a Chinese accountant, but he doesn't speak Japanese either. Thorne ran his hands through his hair. This can't be. Doesn't anyone in this skyscraper in the heart of Manhattan speak Japanese? It seems not, sir. Just then, the elevator doors opened, and Aurora Winters stepped out. She had trays of special meals that she had prepared for the executive floor. The 32-year-old woman had gathered her dark brown hair into a simple bun. With her plain but clean clothes, she exuded a different aura than the other employees. Are you looking for someone who speaks Japanese? Aurora asked calmly. Everyone turned to her. Thorne was looking at her properly for the first time. He was surprised by the determination in her eyes. You, who are you? Thorne frowned. Aurora Winters. I prepare your company meals. Are you saying you speak Japanese? Yes, I'm fluent. Scarlett intervened. Sir, this is too risky. What business does someone from the kitchen have at a meeting like this? Thorne scrutinized Aurora. There was something different about the woman's posture and gaze, but he was too proud to risk his honor. No, this is an important meeting. A single wrong word could sink the company. Aurora smiled. Then what do you have to lose? It seems you have no other choice. How do you know Japanese? Long story. But you don't have time for long stories right now. Just then, a voice came from the intercom. Sir, Akira Takashi and his team have entered the building. They're coming up. Sweat dripped from Thorne's forehead. Damn it! Aurora set her trays aside. I'm asking one last time, do you want help? A battle raged within Thorne, pitting his proud character against his practical intelligence. Every second was valuable. If you mess up this deal, I won't mess it up. I promise you. Scarlet made one last objection. Sir, please reconsider. But Thorne had no choice left. Okay, but you'll only interpret during the meeting. You won't say anything extra. Agreed. The elevator doors opened again. Akira Takashi and his four-person Japanese team stepped out. The serious-faced men in suits walked toward Thorne. Blackridge-san, Akira began, offering a polite greeting. Thorne was sweating, but he tried to smile. Takashi-san, welcome. Akira's eyes noticed Aurora. Who is this young lady? Thorne took a breath. Our interpreter. Aurora stepped forward and spoke perfect Japanese. Pleased to meet you, Takashi-san. I'm honored to assist you. Akira's eyebrows rose. Aurora's accent was flawless. The conference room doors opened. Inside, they found a large table, luxurious chairs, and a view of Manhattan. Thorne looked at Aurora one last time. Who was this woman? Why was she so confident? He had no idea that his life was about to change completely. As soon as the conference room doors closed, Thorne turned to Aurora. He had thousands of questions, but the most important one was how to get out of this situation. Wait a minute, he said, raising his hand. Do you really speak Japanese? Yes, I told you. Knowing a few words is different from interpreting at a business meeting. This is a very important meeting. One wrong word could sink the company. Aurora responded with a calm expression. I understand your concern. But do you have another choice right now? Scarlet immediately intervened. Sir, this is too risky. This woman has never been to a meeting like this before. What if an embarrassing situation arises? What if she mistranslates? Scarlet is right, Thorne nodded. You work in the kitchen. Financial terms, legal expressions. How would you know those? A determined light appeared in Aurora's eyes. You don't know me, Mr. Blackridge. There are some things in my past. What things? Just then, the elevator doors opened, and Atlas Rivera stepped out. The 35-year-old was Aurora's closest friend in the kitchen. He was holding cleaning supplies, but he immediately ran to Aurora's side when he saw her. Aurora, what's happening here? I heard an announcement throughout the building looking for someone who speaks Japanese. Atlas, I told them I speak Japanese. Mr. Blackridge needs an interpreter for the meeting. Atlas's face lit up. This is great. Aurora, you're very talented. You can do this. Scarlet turned to Atlas irritably. Who are you two? Atlas Rivera. Aurora's friend. I know how intelligent she is. Thorne frowned. This isn't a game. Millions of dollars are at risk. That's exactly why you should trust Aurora, Atlas insisted. She doesn't just cook. She's always reading books and examining documents in different languages. She's a very talented woman. This is ridiculous. Scarlet stood up. Sir, please come to your senses. You will be entirely responsible for this decision. Aurora waited quietly, listening to the argument. She could see Thorne's indecision. Mr. Blackridge, Aurora said calmly, I have a proposal for you. Test me for 5 minutes. Name some financial terms, and I'll tell you their Japanese equivalent. If I fail, I'll leave. Thorne hesitated. This seemed logical. Okay. Derivative financial instruments. Aurora answered without hesitation. Tour of Financial Erikler, Heisei Shoteki Kinyu Shohin. Thorne was surprised, but continued. Corporate merger and acquisition. Circuit Burlesum v. Satin Alma, Kiguno Gappe to Baishu. Scarlet's mouth fell open. Atlas smiled proudly. Subsidiary company management. Bagley Circuit Yanetami, Kogeisha Canry. Thorne's eyebrows rose. This woman really knew. How? I said it was a long story. Did I pass the test now? Just then, an urgent voice came from the intercom. Sir, Takashi-san is waiting. The meeting needs to start. Time had completely run out. Thorne had no choice. Aurora, if you mess up this deal. I won't mess it up. I promise you. Scarlet made one last objection. Sir, this is madness. We have no other choice, Scarlet. Atlas touched Aurora's shoulder. You can do it. I believe in you. Aurora nodded. Thank you, Atlas. Thorne took a deep breath. Okay, but let's set the rules clearly. You'll only interpret. You won't add your own opinions. When a question is asked, first translate it to me. I'll answer, and then you'll relay my answer to them. Agreed. Agreed. If you make a mistake, you'll leave the meeting immediately. Accepted. Scarlet threw her hands up. This is insane. Thorne looked at Aurora. He was surprised by the determination in the woman's eyes. She wasn't just a cook. But he didn't know who she was, either. All right. We're going to the conference room. Aurora handed her trays to Atlas. Could you take these to the kitchen? Of course. Good luck, Aurora. You're amazing. When the conference room doors opened, Akira Takashi and his team were seated at the table. Their serious faces reminded Aurora and Thorne once again of the meeting's importance. Thorne sat at the table. Aurora took her place next to him in the interpreter's chair. Let's begin, Thorne whispered. Aurora nodded. She could feel her heart beating rapidly, but her face showed no tension. 6 months of preparation, the company's future, and a $150 million deal now rested on her shoulders. No one knew yet that Aurora had more than enough resources to handle this responsibility. There was electricity in the air in Blackridge Financial's prestigious conference room. Akira Takashi and his 4-person Japanese team sat on one side of the huge mahogany table, and Thorne, Aurora, and the company's financial advisor, David Chen, sat on the other. With Manhattan's breathtaking view filtering through the large windows, the fate of the $150 million deal would be determined at the table. Akira Takashi was a silver-haired businessman in his 50s. His eyes revealed the sharpness that came from decades of experience. Next to Takashi sat Yuki Sasaki, a 26-year-old assistant who took regular note. Blackridge-san, Akira began in Japanese. We're very excited about today's meeting. Aurora translated without hesitation. Takashi-san says they're excited about today's meeting, too. Akira's eyebrows rose slightly. Not only was Aurora's pronunciation correct, but she was also using the respectful tone appropriate for the Japanese business world. Thorne began his presentation. Takashi-san, our company has been one of America's most trusted financial consulting firms for 20 years. Aurora translated Thorne's confident tone, as well as his words, into Japanese. Takashi-san, Watashitachi no kaisha wa nijunin kan, America no matamo shinraiti kairu, kinyu konsarutingu kaisha deshi. Akira looked pleased. But the real test was about to begin. As financial advisor David opened the complex financial charts, Akira began asking detailed questions. How do these subsidiary companies' risk management protocols work? Akira asked a question full of technical terms. Aurora translated without surprise. He's asking how the subsidiary companies' risk management protocols work. As David answered, Aurora flawlessly translated technical terms into Japanese. Complex expressions such as leverage ratio, compliance framework, and due diligence flowed from her mouth as fluent Japanese. Yuki Sasaki looked at Aurora in amazement. This woman's knowledge was extraordinary. Akira opened an even more complex topic. What about cross-border transaction tax implications? Aurora translated, adding details that not even Thorne knew. Especially according to the double taxation treaty protocols between Japan and America. Thorne was surprised. Where did she get this information? But Akira was very pleased. Very good analysis. We had considered this detail. As the meeting progressed, Aurora wasn't just interpreting. She also understood the nuances of Japanese business culture. When addressing Akira, she used the correct, respectful expressions. She smiled and remained serious at the appropriate times. Meisher Koken, she said, receiving Akira's business card respectfully with both hands. This detail greatly impressed Akira. At the end of the 2-hour presentation, Akira began reviewing the details of the agreement. Aurora carefully examined the document. Suddenly, she noticed something. The third clause of the document included a section about establishing a holding company according to Delaware state laws. Aurora's eyes narrowed. There was a serious legal loophole in this structure. She silently touched Thorne's arm. She showed him the document with hand signals, leaned close to his ear, and whispered, "There's a problem with this clause. The tax advantages have been overlooked in the Delaware incorporation structure." Thorne was surprised. "What do you mean?" "If we use an LLC hybrid structure, we can avoid double taxation. The deal value could be much higher." Thorne's heart raced. If Aurora was right, this deal could be much more profitable. At that moment, Akira was speaking Japanese with his team. "I think the agreement conditions seem acceptable," Yuki whispered while taking note. "Takashi-san, this interpreter is impressive. We rarely see someone this professional." "I agree. We could use her again for our business in America." Aurora understood these conversations, but she said nothing. She only focused on Thorne. He was undecided. How seriously could he take Aurora's suggestion? This woman had been working in the kitchen an hour ago. However, Aurora's performance thus far had been perfect. She hadn't made any mistakes. Quite the contrary, she had achieved success far beyond expectations. "What do you suggest?" Thorne whispered. "Trust me. This change makes the deal much more profitable. But I need to present it correctly." Akira was preparing to make his final decision on the other side of the table. "Blackridge-san, we accept the terms of the agreement." Thorne took a deep breath. He was about to take the biggest risk of his life. "Takashi-san," Thorne hesitated. "Our advisor has an important suggestion." Aurora's heart beat rapidly. Now she was about to take the stage. Akira looked curiously at her. "What is this suggestion?" This was the moment when everything would change. All eyes in the conference room turned to Aurora. After Thorne said, "Our advisor has an important suggestion," the room became ice-cold silent. Aurora took a deep breath and turned to Akira. "Takashi-san," Aurora began in perfect Japanese. "While reviewing the agreement documents, I noticed an important opportunity." Akira frowned. "What kind of opportunity?" Aurora pointed to the document on the table. "There's a much more advantageous way to optimize taxes in the Delaware holding structure." Yuki Sasaki began taking note. Aurora continued. "The current structure uses a normal corporate structure. But if we opt for an LLC hybrid structure, we can completely avoid double taxation in both America and Japan." Akira's eyes lit up. "Continue." "A Delaware LLC is considered a partnership by Japan. This way, no tax is paid at the corporate level, only at the individual level." Thorne listened to Aurora in amazement. Where did she know these details from? Aurora walked toward the projector. "May I explain with your permission?" Akira nodded. Aurora began drawing on the whiteboard. Current structure: U.S. Corporation Japanese subsidiary. The tax rate is 35% in America and 23% in Japan, for a total of 58%. Proposed structure: Delaware LLC Japanese branch. Total tax is only 23%. After speaking quickly with his team in Japanese, Akira turned to Aurora. "This is very clever. What are the legal risks of this?" "No risk at all. It's clearly stated in Article 4 of the tax treaty signed by the IRS and the Japanese National Tax Agency in 2019. Aurora's memory was perfect. Yuki continued taking notes in amazement. "How does this change affect the agreement value?" Akira asked curiously. Aurora touched the calculator. The annual tax savings on a $150 million investment are $35 million. Total savings over 5 years, $175 million. If we add half of these savings to the agreement value, the new agreement amount will be approximately $300 million. Everyone at the table was shocked. Aurora's calculations were perfect. After speaking with his team in Japanese for 10 minutes, Akira turned to Aurora. We really liked this strategy. Let's consult our legal department immediately. Akira called Tokyo by phone. Half an hour later, he returned. Great news. Our legal department approved your strategy. We're raising the agreement amount to $300 million. Thorne's mouth fell open. Aurora had just doubled the deal value. Blackridge-san, Akira said, standing up. This woman is incredibly talented. We want to work with her on all our future deals. Of course, Takashi-san. Akira turned to Aurora. Aurora, we would like to meet with you separately. Would you consider consulting for our companies in Japan? Aurora replied humbly. Of course, we can discuss it. After signing the documents, the Japanese team stood up. Akira said goodbye to Thorne. This was one of our most successful meetings. Special thanks to Aurora-san. Yuki gave Aurora her business card. Please keep in touch. After the Japanese team left, only Thorne, Aurora, and David remained in the conference room. David looked at Aurora in amazement. This was incredible. How did you know these things? Aurora smiled. Long story. Thorne was still in shock. Aurora, you just saved my company. I was expecting $150 million. We gained $300 million. I just saw the opportunity. No, this isn't just seeing an opportunity. You acted like a professional consultant. Aurora gathered her documents from the table. I should return to the kitchen now. Wait. Thorne stood up. Come to my office. I need to talk to you. Aurora hesitated. Mr. Blackridge, I just wanted to help. And you did an amazing job. But now I'm curious. Who are you, Aurora? David intervened. Thorne is right. This performance can't be a coincidence. Aurora nodded. Okay, let's talk. 10 minutes later, she was in Thorne's luxurious office. They sat in leather chairs in front of the Manhattan view. Aurora, Thorne asked directly. Who are you really? Aurora clasped her hands. It's a complicated story. I have time. I graduated from Cambridge University. I studied international finance. Thorne's eyes widened. Cambridge. Yes, I graduated first in my class. Then why are you working as a cook? Aurora's face darkened. I was working in Japan. At a big finance company. Then everything collapsed. What happened? My boyfriend, Satoshi Yamamoto. He was stealing money from the company. They thought I was his accomplice too. Thorne leaned forward. Continue. I couldn't prove my innocence. They fired me. No other company in Japan would hire me. I had to escape to America. So why are you cooking here? No one here knows my past. Who would hire someone with gaps in their resume? Thorne listened silently. Now he understood who Aurora was. Aurora, you're incredibly talented. This isn't something to hide. Easy for you to say. You just made me $150 million. Things will change now. Aurora looked at him curiously. What do you mean? Thorne smiled. Starting tomorrow, you won't be working in the kitchen. You'll be working here. What do you think about Aurora hiding her Cambridge background? Let's discuss in the comments why such talented people are forced to hide. In Thorne's luxurious office, with a view of glittering Manhattan in front of them, Aurora's story slowly unfolded. Sitting in the leather chair, Aurora clasped her hands together and prepared to turn the painful pages of her past. Cambridge. Thorne shook his head. That's a great achievement. International finance isn't an easy department. Aurora tried to smile. My dream has always been to work at an international company. I worked hard every day at Cambridge for this. And you succeeded. You said you were first. Yes, I gave the valedictorian speech at graduation. My family was very proud. Aurora's voice trembled slightly. So, what happened next? Aurora took a deep breath. After graduation, I started working at Yamamoto Securities, a subsidiary of Mitsubishi Financial in Japan. As a junior analyst. That's a big start. Yes, life in Tokyo was hard but exciting. For the first 6 months, I focused solely on work. Then, Aurora paused. Then, I met Satoshi Yamamoto. He was the son of the company owner. He was 32 years old, very handsome and intelligent, and he was showing interest in me. Thorne noticed the pain on Aurora's face. It started as a professional relationship. He was a senior director and I worked on his team. But over time we grew closer. You fell in love. Madly. Satoshi showed me a different world. We went to luxury restaurants and dined at the finest places in Tokyo. We took weekend trips to Mount Fuji. Aurora stood up and looked at Manhattan through the window. We were together for 2 years. We even talked about marriage. I had built a perfect life in Tokyo. So what happened? Aurora turned around, tears in her eyes. At the end of 2019, an audit began at the company. We thought it was a routine inspection. But then strange things started happening. Like what? Satoshi started acting nervous. He would stay at the office late and he would get tense during phone conversations. He told me, "Don't talk to anyone about the company." Thorne became increasingly curious. In January, everything came to light. Satoshi had been transferring money from the company for 3 years. He set up shell companies and opened offshore accounts. He stole a total of 50 million yen. 50 million yen? That's approximately $500,000. And he had involved me in it. Thorne was shocked. What do you mean? He opened bank accounts in my name. He forged my signature. My name was on the transfer documents. This is terrible. Aurora sat down again. When the police came, I was home with Satoshi. They took us both. Didn't you tell them you were innocent? Of course I did. But no one believed me. Because I'm Satoshi's girlfriend, they thought I was involved in the money-stealing scheme. What did Satoshi say? Aurora's voice hardened. That bastard blamed me. He said Aurora made the plan. I just executed it. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it either. The man I loved sold me out like this. Aurora wiped away her tears. I hired lawyers and gathered evidence. But Satoshi's family is very powerful. They slandered me in the media. There were headlines like, "Foreign girlfriend manipulates Japanese businessman." This is so unfair. Eventually, the charges were dismissed because there was no concrete evidence. But the company fired me. No other finance company in Tokyo would hire me. Thorne approached Aurora. What a horrible experience. I tried to stay in Tokyo for a year. But every door was closed to me. Finally, I had to return to America. Did you get help from your family? My family lives in Chicago. They were ashamed too. The media coverage reached America, too. At that moment, the office door opened. Cordelia Blackridge, a 58-year-old woman with an elegant yet stern demeanor, entered. She owned 30% of the company's shares. Thorne, who is this woman? Cordelia asked, looking at Aurora. Mother, let me introduce you. This is Aurora Winters. She helped us tremendously today. Cordelia sized up Aurora. A servant. Aurora stood up. I prepare company meals, madam. Ah, a cook. Cordelia said in a mocking tone. Thorne, what is this woman doing here? Mother, Aurora made a $300 million deal today. Don't be ridiculous. How could a cook possibly make a deal? Aurora felt uncomfortable. May I excuse myself? Wait, Aurora, Thorne said, turning to his mother, Cordelia. Mother, Aurora is a Cambridge graduate. She's very talented. Cordelia began to laugh. Cambridge? This woman is deceiving you, Thorne. If she were a Cambridge graduate, she wouldn't be working as a cook here. Mother, please. You don't know this woman, Thorne. Have you investigated her background? Do you know who she is? Aurora's face reddened. Madam, Be quiet. Cordelia snapped. You're trying to use my son. Thorne stood up. Mother, enough. Mother, this woman is dangerous. There are women who target rich men. You're one of them. Aurora struggled with tears. Cordelia's words reminded her of the media campaign in Japan. Dear viewers, in our next story, we will tell you about a millionaire's grandson who had to live like a poor person for 6 months due to his grandfather's will. We will witness his encounter with the hardships of real life and true love during this process. Yes, where were we? Madam, Aurora said in a calm but determined voice. I'm not using anyone. I was just trying to help. Help, huh? What a great motivation for $300 million. Thorne stepped between his mother and Aurora. Mother, this is too much. Aurora took her bag. Mr. Blackridge, thank you for the opportunity to talk. I need to go now. Aurora, wait. But Aurora was already heading to the door. Cordelia's words had brought back painful memories of the past. She turned at the door. I made mistakes in my past, Mr. Blackridge. But I never used anyone. After Aurora left, Thorne looked at his mother angrily. Mother, what kind of behavior is this? I'm protecting you, Thorne. This woman is suspicious. But Thorne had seen the pain in Aurora's eyes. For the first time, empathy awakened in his pride-filled heart. The next morning, Aurora tried to continue her usual routine in the kitchen, but she was confused. Had yesterday's events been real or a dream? The $300 million deal, her conversation with Thorne, Cordelia's merciless words. Everything was a confusing puzzle in her mind. Atlas came up to her. Aurora, what happened yesterday? The whole building is talking about you. I had a complicated day, Atlas. According to the gossip, you caused quite a stir. Aurora smiled. I helped a little. At that moment, the elevator doors opened and Scarlett Hayes stepped out. She had a serious expression on her face. Aurora Winters? Mr. Blackridge wants to see you in his office. Atlas was surprised. Why? I don't know. But he wants you to come immediately. Aurora took off her gloves. Okay, I'm coming. 10 minutes later, she was sitting in Thorne's office. He had a lot of documents on his desk and looked serious. Aurora, I thought a lot after our conversation yesterday. Yes. You're an incredibly talented woman. Don't let that talent rot in the kitchen. Aurora was surprised. What do you mean? Thorne stood up. I'm offering you a position as a financial advisor. What? Aurora's mouth dropped open. You didn't hear wrong. I want you to work at our company as a senior financial advisor. Aurora shook her head. This is very sudden. Just yesterday, I was working in the kitchen. Yet yesterday, you earned my company $150 million. At that moment, the door opened and Scarlett entered. Her face was grim. Sir, I'm sorry, but I overheard that. We need to talk before you make this decision. Thorne frowned. Scarlett, this is my decision. Sir, this woman has never held such a position before. What will the client say? You saw how impressed Akira Takashi was yesterday. Scarlett insisted. Sir, one successful meeting isn't enough. This woman was working in the kitchen yesterday. Aurora felt uncomfortable. Maybe Scarlett is right. This is too big of a step. No. Thorne was determined. You deserve this job. At that moment, Atlas got off the elevator and appeared at the door. Excuse me, but I want to support Aurora. Scarlett turned to Atlas angrily. Who are you? Atlas Rivera. Aurora's friend. I know how talented she is. You work in the kitchen, too. You can't have an opinion on this. Atlas remained calm. Aurora constantly reads finance books and studies international business magazines. She doesn't just cook. Thorne looked at Atlas. Continue. Aurora reads the Financial Times every day. She follows Bloomberg. I see her potential. Scarlett objected angrily. This is ridiculous. What will the client say? What will the board say? The board is not my concern, Thorne replied sharply. Clients won't object after seeing yesterday's results. Aurora hesitated. Mr. Blackridge, this is a very big risk. What if I fail? You won't fail. How can you be so sure? Thorne approached Aurora. Because yesterday I saw determination in your eyes. You're not just talented, you have a fighting spirit too. Aurora's heart raced. She could see the sincerity in Thorne's eyes. Atlas intervened. Aurora, this is your right. Accept it. Scarlett objected one last time. Sir, this will be a disaster. Scarlett, enough. Thorne snapped. I made this decision. Aurora took a deep breath. Okay, I accept. Thorne smiled. Perfect. You start Monday. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, Viktor Ravenhill was reading the newspaper in his office on the 52-carat ND floor of Ravenhill Industries. The front page of the Financial Times had a big headline: Blackridge Financial closes $300 million Japanese deal. Viktor threw the newspaper on his desk. This is impossible. How could Blackridge have made such a big deal? His assistant, Marcus, immediately came to his side. Sir, what happened? Thorne Blackridge slipped away from me again. He made a $300 million deal. How is that possible? I don't know, but I'll find out. Viktor picked up his phone. Call Mitch Harper. Immediately. Half an hour later, Private Detective Mitch Harper was in the office. Viktor, what do you want? Find out how Blackridge made this deal. Who helped? Which consultants did they use? I'll investigate. And Mitch, if you find a weakness, use it. Meanwhile, at Blackridge Financial, Thorne showed Aurora her new office. This is your room. Manhattan view. You'll have your own assistant. Aurora was enchanted. This is very luxurious. You deserve this. She looked at Thorne. Why are you doing this? What do you mean? You trust me this much? We just met yesterday. Thorne paused. Because there's something different about you, Aurora. Like what? Strength, determination, and... Thorne approached. Honesty. Aurora's breath caught. He was very close to her. Thorne, You what? I just want to focus on work. Thorne smiled. Of course. Focus on work. But they both felt it. There was electricity between them. Aurora looked at Manhattan through the window. Is this real or a dream? Real. And this is just the beginning. Neither Aurora nor Thorne knew that Viktor Ravenhill was trying to destroy them. Atlas smiled when he saw the empty place where Aurora had been sitting in the kitchen. His best friend had finally arrived where she belonged. Scarlett, on the other hand, angrily hit the computer keyboard in her office. She felt that Aurora would change everything. The biggest surprise of the story hadn't even begun yet. For the celebratory dinner suggested by Akira Takashi, Le Bernardin, one of Manhattan's most prestigious restaurants, had been reserved. It would be Aurora's first time dining in such a luxurious place. She had chosen a simple yet elegant black dress. Although Atlas told her, "You look stunning," Aurora still couldn't feel confident. While waiting for her in the restaurant, Thorne saw the waiter bring Aurora inside. His breath was taken away. Her natural beauty, graceful posture, and confident steps enchanted him. You look beautiful, Thorne said, standing up. Thank you, Aurora said, blushing slightly. Akira and Yuki were already at the table. When Akira saw Aurora, he stood up too. Aurora-san, tonight, you are our honored guest. You are very kind, Takashi-san. During dinner, Akira couldn't stop praising Aurora's professionalism. It's a great pleasure to work with you, Aurora-san. Do you have experience working in Japan as well? Aurora hesitated. Before Thorne could intervene, she answered. Yes, I worked in Tokyo for a few years. Which company? Yamamoto Securities. Akira frowned. Yamamoto? That name sounds familiar. Aurora tensed, but Thorne intervened. Aurora's experience is indisputable. She's an asset to us. After dinner, Akira and Yuki left. Thorne turned to Aurora. The weather is nice out. Would you like to take a walk in Central Park? Aurora hesitated. Isn't this a business dinner? Work is over now. Now we're just two friends. The night lights of Central Park were enchanting. As they passed under Bow Bridge, Thorne began to speak. Aurora, I want to ask you something. Ask. Why did you trust me? Yesterday, I was a complete stranger. Aurora thought. I saw the determination in your eyes. You weren't desperate, you were determined. You were too. When I saw your confidence in the meeting room, I was surprised. Actually, I was terrified inside. Thorne stopped. Really? Yes, but sometimes you have to take risks. They sat on a bench. Manhattan's lights shone in the distance. Aurora, I want to know more about your past. Aurora tensed. Why? Because you're an interesting woman. I want to get to know you better. Thorne, I'm a complicated woman. I have made mistakes in the past. Who doesn't? Aurora looked at him. What's your past? Me? Boring. Rich kid, private schools, Harvard MBA. Very predictable. Why finance? My father wanted it. His grandfather wanted it too. Family tradition. So, what did you want? Thorne smiled. No one had ever asked me that before. Actually, I wanted to be an architect. Why didn't you become one? Because I was the heir to Blackridge Financial. I had no choice. Aurora felt empathy. Responsibilities can kill dreams. Exactly. Thorne moved closer to Aurora. You carry responsibilities too. The burden of your past. Aurora looked away. This is different. How is it different? I don't want to hurt anyone again. Do you think you'll hurt me? Aurora stood up. Maybe we should go. As they returned to the building where they lived, Thorne took Aurora's hand. Aurora, tonight was beautiful. For me too. Can we do it again? Aurora hesitated. Thorne, At that moment, Cordelia Blackridge emerged from the building's lobby. With her designer bag and cold demeanor, she sized up Aurora. Thorne, I was looking for you. Mother, what are you doing here? I needed to talk to you. Cordelia looked at Aurora. With this woman. Aurora felt uncomfortable. Good night. I'll leave. Wait, Cordelia said sharply. You listen, too. Thorne began to get angry. Mother, what do you want? Thorne, this girl is using you. Mother. I investigated her. She caused a scandal in Japan. She was involved in money laundering. Aurora's face turned white. These are lies. Thorne became angry. No. This woman preys on wealthy men. You're her next victim. Aurora tried to hold back tears. Madam, Shut up. What do you want from my son? Mother, stop. Thorne intervened. Cordelia continued. This woman is dangerous, Thorne. Her past is dark. You're innocent. Aurora couldn't take it anymore. You're right, madam. I am dangerous. I should stay away from Thorne. Aurora, no. Thorne tried to catch her, but she had already escaped. Cordelia looked satisfied. Good. Mother, what have you done? I protected you. Thorne looked at his mother angrily. You don't know Aurora at all. You don't know her either. She's manipulative. No, she's not. She's kind, intelligent, and honest. Thorne, open your eyes. But Thorne was already running to the elevator. He went up to Aurora's floor, but her door was locked. Aurora, will you open it? There was no response from inside. She was crying, but she didn't open the door. When he went back downstairs, his mother was still waiting. Thorne, I was right. This woman is trouble. No, mother. You're wrong. You owe Aurora an apology. Thorne left his mother and went home. But Aurora was the only thing on his mind. She was crying in her apartment, too. Cordelia's words had brought back the nightmares from Japan. Maybe she's right, she murmured. Maybe I really am dangerous. After that night, Aurora decided to stay away from Thorne. The shadows of her past had caught up with her again. Was Cordelia's attitude toward Aurora justified, or was it prejudiced? How valid are wealthy families' concerns about unsuitable partners? What would you do if you were in Cordelia's position? Share your opinion in the comments below. In Viktor Ravenhill's luxurious office, Private Detective Mitch Harper placed the file he had compiled about Aurora on the desk. It was a thick file, and Victor's eyes lit up. What did you find, Mitch? This woman has a very interesting past. She's a Cambridge graduate and really very smart. But she was involved in a big scandal in Japan. Viktor opened the file. Tell me. She was with a man named Satoshi Yamamoto. He stole 50 million yen from the company. Aurora was also seen as an accomplice. Perfect. Continue. The charges were dropped, but she was blacklisted in Tokyo. She fled to America and worked cleaning jobs here, too. Viktor smiled. I can use this information. But be careful, Viktor. This woman might be innocent. Innocent or not, I don't care. I'll do whatever it takes to stop Blackridge. 2 days later, Viktor was waiting for Aurora at Café Luna, her usual lunch spot. When she sat at a table, he approached her. "Ms. Winters? Viktor Ravenhill. Can I talk to you?" Aurora was surprised. "Who are you?" "I'm the general manager of Ravenhill Industries. I want to make you an offer." Viktor sat down across from her without asking. Aurora felt uncomfortable. "What kind of offer?" "I want you to leave Blackridge and work at my company. You'll get a double salary, better opportunities, and, of course, no one will know anything about your past." Aurora's face changed. "What do you know about my past?" Viktor pulled out a page from the file. "Do you know Satoshi Yamamoto?" Aurora's hand trembled. "Where did you find this?" "It doesn't matter. What matters is how well Thorne Blackridge knows you." "Is this a threat?" "No, it's a job offer. Senior partner position at my company. The annual salary is $500,000. Aurora stood up. "Thank you for your interest, but no. Think about it, Ms. Winters. What is Blackridge offering you? A temporary position? No real loyalty. Mr. Ravenhill, my decision is final." Viktor's face hardened. "This isn't a wise decision. Are you threatening me?" "I'm just giving advice. The past sometimes resurfaces at unexpected times." Aurora left the cafe, but Viktor's cold gaze followed her. That evening at Blackridge Financial, Thorne and Aurora worked on the Singapore project together. They were both focused, but the chemistry between them increased with every passing minute. "This tax structure is perfect," Aurora said, looking at the documents. "You're perfect," Thorne whispered. Aurora looked up. "Thorne. I know. We should be professional. But I can't ignore these feelings." "I can't either. But it's complicated." "Why?" Aurora hesitated. "Because I'm a damaged person." "Nonsense. You're wonderful." At that moment, Atlas, the cleaner, entered the office and saw how close they were. He quietly left. The next day, Atlas confronted Aurora in the kitchen. "Aurora, you're in love with Thorne." Aurora was surprised. "What?" "I saw it last night. The energy between you two." "Atlas, this is just work." "No, it's not. I see that sparkle in your eyes. You've fallen for him." Aurora tried to laugh. "That's ridiculous." "Aurora, I'm your best friend. You can't fool me." Aurora sighed. "So what if I am? What difference does it make?" "A big difference. You deserve happiness." "Atlas, I'm not on his level. He's a millionaire. I'm just Aurora." "I'm just Aurora." "You're not just Aurora. You're an intelligent, kind-hearted, beautiful woman." At that moment, Viktor Ravenhill was at one of Manhattan's media offices. He was talking to Robert Klein, the editor of New York Business Magazine. "Robert, I have an exclusive story for you." "What is it, Viktor?" Viktor placed Aurora's file on the desk. "Blackridge Financial's new star advisor actually has a criminal past." Robert examined the file. "These are serious accusations, Viktor. Do you have proof?" "Everything is there. Japanese police reports, court documents, and bank records." "Why are you giving this to me?" "Because the public has a right to know. Blackridge is misleading investors." Robert thought. "This could be big news. If you publish it tomorrow morning, I'll give you exclusive rights." "Deal." Viktor smiled as he left the office. "Sorry, Aurora, but business is business." That night, Aurora was working on the Singapore project at home when her phone rang. It was an unknown number. "Hello? Ms. Winters? This is journalist Robert Klein. I'd like to get your comment." "On what subject?" "The money laundering scandal in Japan." Aurora's heart stopped. "What?" "The news will be published tomorrow morning. Would you like to make a statement?" Aurora hung up the phone. Her hands were trembling. Viktor had followed through on his threat. Aurora realized her life was about to be destroyed again. She picked up the phone to call Thorne, but stopped. This could destroy him too. Meanwhile, Viktor was home, drinking whiskey and talking to his daughter, Raven. "Dad, how ethical is this?" "Ethics are a luxury in the business world, Raven. But this woman might be innocent." "Innocent or not, it will stop Blackridge." Raven was disturbed. She had grown fond of Aurora because of her friendship with Atlas. Dad, this is wrong. You don't understand. This is war. The bomb would explode before Aurora woke up. At 7 in the morning, Aurora's phone wouldn't stop ringing. It kept ringing and she kept receiving messages. Still drowsy from sleep, she answered the phone and heard Atlas's panicked voice. Aurora, look at the newspapers immediately. This is terrible. Aurora ran down to the newspaper stand in the apartment lobby. After seeing what she saw, her knees trembled. On the front page of the New York Business Journal were huge letters that read, "Is Blackridge's new advisor a former fraudster?" The subtitle read, "Cambridge graduate Aurora Winters's money laundering scandal in Japan exposed." Aurora didn't dare read the rest of the newspaper. She ran home and immediately began writing her resignation letter. Dear Mr. Blackridge, due to recent developments, I am resigning from my position. I do not want to harm your company. Respectfully, Aurora Winters. When she arrived at Blackridge Financial, reporters were waiting in front of the building. She was able to enter through the back entrance, but the atmosphere was tense. All the employees were whispering about her. She laundered money in the past. She had a Japanese boyfriend. She deceived us. Aurora went straight to Thorne's office. He was examining newspapers at his desk and looked angry. Thorne, here's my resignation letter. Thorne didn't take the letter. Sit down, Aurora. No, I need to leave. I don't want to harm you or the company. Aurora, tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. Aurora took a deep breath. Everything is true. While I was with Satoshi in Japan, a money laundering scandal broke out. I couldn't prove my innocence. Are you guilty? No. I never laundered money. But who will believe me? Thorne stood up. I believe you. Why? Because I know you, Aurora. You're an honest woman. At that moment, Scarlett entered in a panic. Mr. Blackridge. Takashi called from Japan. He wants an urgent meeting. He's very worried. What did he say? He heard the media reports. He's concerned about the company's image. Aurora stood up. Do you see? I've ruined everything. Scarlett interjected. Mr. Blackridge, maybe it would be best if Aurora left. Our clients might lose confidence. Thorne looked sternly at Scarlett. Scarlett, you will not speak about this matter again. But Mr. Blackridge, I said enough. He turned to Aurora. You're not going anywhere. We'll overcome this crisis together. Thorne, this isn't realistic. The media campaign has started. Viktor won. Viktor. Thorne was surprised. Aurora told the story. The encounter at Café Luna, the job offer, the rejection, the threat. That bastard. Thorne was fuming with anger. He's trying to destroy me by using you. It's too late now. The damage is done. At that moment, the secretary entered. Mr. Blackridge, Takashi is calling again. He says he must speak with you now. Thorne answered the phone. Takashi-san, how are you? A tense voice came through. Blackridge-san, are the news reports true? Takashi-san, this information is completely false. Aurora is a very honest woman. But the scandal in Japan. She is innocent. She was used. Blackridge-san, our company's image is very important. The board is worried. I understand your concern. But I guarantee you that Aurora is trustworthy. We need to investigate this situation. Maybe we should reconsider the agreement. After the phone call ended, Aurora collapsed. Did you see? The $300 million deal is in danger. Aurora, we won't give up. Thorne, be realistic. The media campaign has started. Viktor's plan is working. In the afternoon, reports about Aurora began airing on financial news channels. There are suspicious points in the past of Blackridge Financial's new advisor. Japanese investors are worried. Company stocks are expected to fall. Atlas was trying to find Aurora in the kitchen, but she wasn't there. Meanwhile, Scarlett was telling the other employees, I was suspicious from the beginning. That evening, Viktor Ravenhill was drunk with Victory in his office. His assistant, Marcus, was watching the news. Viktor, the plan worked perfectly. Blackridge is collapsing. This is just the beginning, Marcus. Now, we'll plan the real attack. What will we do? We'll scare his other clients too. We'll dig deeper into Aurora's past. What if she turns out to be innocent? It doesn't matter if she's innocent. The seed of doubt has been planted. That's enough. Viktor looked at the Blackridge building from his window. Thorne Blackridge, this time I'll beat you. Meanwhile, Aurora was crying at home. She couldn't watch the news on TV. The nightmare of the past had started again. Her phone rang with a message from Thorne. Come to the office tomorrow. We'll find a solution together. I trust you. Aurora read the message but couldn't reply. Her self-confidence was non-existent. There was a knock at her door. It was Atlas. Aurora, open the door. We need to talk. Atlas, I'm tired. Open the door. As your best friend, I need to talk to you. When Aurora opened the door, Atlas hugged her tightly. We can weather this storm too. You're strong. This time is different, Atlas. The media campaign has started. Thorne supports you. But the company is being harmed. I'll break his heart too. You already stole his heart anyway. Aurora was surprised. What do you mean? He's in love with you, Aurora. And you're in love with him, too. This is impossible. I'm a damaged person. No, you're not. You're just wounded. Wounds heal. That night, Aurora looked at the lights of Manhattan from her window. Viktor's plan had worked. But the war wasn't over yet. Tomorrow, things could get worse. Or maybe a miracle would happen. Thorne was looking at the same view from his office. His determination to protect Aurora had never wavered. Neither of them knew that Viktor's mistake would change everything. On the second day of the media storm, an unexpected phone call came in. Scarlett nervously informed Thorne, Mr. Blackridge, Takashi called. He wants to meet with Aurora privately. Thorne frowned. Privately? Why? I don't know. But he was very insistent. He said he would only speak with Aurora. Aurora looked worried. This isn't a good sign. He'll probably cancel the deal. Maybe not, Thorne said hopefully. Go listen to what he has to say. An hour later, Aurora met with Akira Takashi at a secret Japanese restaurant in downtown. Akira looked serious, but not hostile. Aurora-san, I need to speak with you about a very private matter. Aurora was prepared. Yes, Takashi-san. It's about the news reports in the newspapers. I understand. You want to cancel the deal. Akira was surprised. No, Aurora-san. On the contrary. I want to tell you that you are innocent. Aurora's mouth fell open. What? I know Satoshi Yamamoto very well. He is a very bad man. How do you know him? Akira took a deep breath. Because he stole money from my former company, too. Aurora was shocked. When? In 2017. At that time, I was heading up Takashi Holdings, a Mitsubishi subsidiary. Satoshi came there as a consultant. And, within 6 months, he transferred 80 million yen to offshore accounts. He did it very cleverly. Aurora's heart beat fast. Did you catch him? Yes, but his father was very powerful. They covered up the incident. They sent Satoshi to another city. Then why didn't you protect me? Akira looked sad. I didn't know at the time. But when I saw your name in the media, I started investigating. I had old records examined. Akira took a file out of his bag. These documents prove your innocence. There are bank records, a timeline analysis, and Satoshi's confession. Aurora examined the document. Tears welled in her eyes. Is this real? Completely real. You are Satoshi's victim, Aurora-san. He used you. Why are you telling me now? Because I cannot tolerate injustice. Also, you are a very valuable person. Aurora couldn't hold back her tears. Thank you. There's also something else. I want to offer you a new $500 million project. What? We'll build a financial bridge between Tokyo and New York. You'll head the project. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, Ravenhill was secretly examining documents in her father's office. Because of her friendship with Atlas, she had developed an affection for Aurora, so her father's actions disturbed her. Files about Aurora were open on Viktor's desk. As she read them, she was horrified. Fake documents, manipulated bank records, bribes to Satoshi. Raven took out her phone and photographed the document. Then, she quickly left the office. She called Atlas. Atlas, we need to meet urgently. Aurora's life is at stake. An hour later, they met in Central Park. Raven showed Atlas the files. My father framed Aurora. He had fake documents prepared and leaked them to the media. Atlas was furious. This is despicable. There's more. He bribed Satoshi. He's also going to give false testimony against Aurora. This isn't legal. Of course not. But my father thinks he can't be stopped. Atlas was thinking. Raven, why are you doing this? You're going against your own father. Because Aurora is a good person. And because I value my friendship with Atlas very much. So, what should we do? We should take these documents to Aurora and Thorne. They'll know what to do. Atlas nodded. Okay, but we need to be careful. Viktor is dangerous. I know. But this is the right thing to do. At that moment, at Blackridge Financial, Aurora was telling Thorne the results of her meeting with Akira. I can't believe it. Will Akira protect you? He won't just protect me. He has documents that will prove my innocence. Thorne hugged Aurora. This is wonderful news. He also offered me a new project worth $500 million. Did you accept? I'm still thinking about it. But it's a great opportunity for us. At that moment, there was a knock on the door. Atlas and Raven entered. Raven looked nervous. Sorry for disturbing you. There's an important matter we need to discuss. Thorne was surprised. Who are you? I'm Raven Ravenhill, Viktor's daughter. Thorne and Aurora were shocked. I have very bad news for you. My father is making terrible plans about you. Raven placed the files on the table. These documents show how my father trapped Aurora. Aurora examined the document. These are fake bank records. Yes, my father had them prepared and gave them to the media. Thorne trembled with anger. This is absolutely illegal. There's more. He bribed Satoshi to give false testimony against Aurora. Aurora sat down, her knees trembling. Why? What did I do to him? He's trying to destroy my father by using you, Raven explained. Atlas interjected. Raven is being very brave. She's going against her own father. Thorne looked at Raven. Why are you doing this? Because Aurora is a good person. What my father is doing is wrong. Aurora approached Raven. Thank you. This is very brave. What will we do now? Atlas asked. Thorne was determined. We'll stop Viktor. This time, his plans will fail. Aurora felt hopeful for the first time. We have Akira's documents and Raven's evidence. Now we can fight. But we need to be careful, Raven warned. My father can be very dangerous. Thorne smiled. He hasn't seen how strong we are yet. The real front of the war was about to open. Was it right for Akira to remain silent, even after learning of Aurora's innocence? In the business world, is it more logical to protect your own interests or do what's right? If you liked this story, rate it from 1 to 10 and subscribe to our channel. The documents that Raven had brought were spread across the table. Each page revealed another part of Viktor's dirty plans. As Thorne examined them one by one, his anger increased. This bastard! He planned everything. Thorne showed Viktor's contract with the private detective. Look. He paid Mitch Harper $50,000 to investigate Aurora. Aurora held the document showing the money transfer to Satoshi. Viktor bribed him with $100,000 to give false testimony against me. Raven looked sad. This is just the tip of the iceberg. My father will do anything to destroy your company. Atlas picked up one of the documents. What's this? The cost of creating fake bank records. Yes, Raven nodded. He paid the graphic designer $25,000 to create fake accounts in Aurora's name. Thorne stood up. Enough. It's time to stop these sabotage plans. What will you do? Aurora asked, worried. I'll hold a press conference. I'll reveal all the truths. This is risky. Viktor might take revenge. Let him. The truth is out now. 2 hours later, a press conference began in the conference hall at Blackridge Financial. 15 reporters from newspapers and television channels had gathered in the hall. When Thorne took the podium, he looked determined. Ladies and gentlemen, today I will make some very important statements. The news about Aurora Winters in the media is completely baseless and manipulated. Reporters began taking note. I have evidence showing how a rival company fabricated these stories with fake documents. Thorne showed Viktor's documents. These documents show that a systematic defamation campaign was organized against Aurora Winters. A reporter raised his hand. Mr. Blackridge, these are very serious accusations. How solid is your evidence? Very solid. We have bank transfer records, invoices for the production of fake documents, and proof of bribe payment. Everything is here. Aurora sat on the sidelines, watching Thorne courageously defend her. Her heart was filled with gratitude. Aurora Winters is a Cambridge graduate and an extremely talented finance expert. Since joining our company, she has completed $800 million in deals. Another reporter asked, "What about the events in Japan?" Regarding the events in Japan, we also have documents proving Aurora's innocence. Akira Takashi himself gave us these documents. The press conference lasted an hour. Thorne answered every question clearly. When it ended, he approached Aurora. "How was it?" "It was incredible. Thank you for defending me like that. I just told the truth." That evening, Thorne took Aurora to the rooftop. From the Blackridge building's roof, the enchanting view of Manhattan was visible. The city's lights sparkled like stars. "This place is so beautiful," Aurora said, catching her breath. "You're more beautiful," Thorne said as he approached her. Aurora's cheeks reddened. "Thorne." "Aurora, I need to tell you something." "What?" Thorne took Aurora's hands. "I've fallen in love with you." Aurora's heart began beating fast. "Thorne, I know. Terrible timing. But I can't hide it anymore." Aurora's eyes welled up with tears. "I love you too." "Really?" "Yes, since the first day I saw you." Thorne moved even closer to Aurora. "Then why were you keeping your distance?" "Because I was afraid of hurting you. I was afraid that my past would destroy you." "I don't care about your past. What matters is now." Thorne caressed Aurora's face. "May I kiss you?" Aurora smiled. "I want it very much." Their first kiss happened under the lights of Manhattan. The city's noise, its problems, Viktor's threats, everything disappeared at that moment. There were only the two of them. "Is this real?" Aurora whispered. "The most real thing," Thorne replied, hugging her tightly. The next morning, when Aurora came to the kitchen, Atlas greeted her. "Aurora, I watched the press conference on TV. Thorne defended you wonderfully." "Yes, it was incredible." Atlas noticed a different sparkle in Aurora's eyes. "Wait a minute. What's with this facial expression?" Aurora smiled. "What do you mean? Did you talk to Thorne?" "Yes, we talked." "And?" Aurora's cheeks turned pink. "We told each other that we love each other." Atlas screamed. "Yes. Finally. Be quiet. Everyone will hear." "Aurora, this is wonderful. I can see you're very happy." "I really am, Atlas." Atlas hugged her. "You deserve this. Thorne deserves you too." At that moment, Cordelia Blackridge arrived at the building. She had read the morning newspapers and watched Thorne's press conference on TV. For the first time, she understood who Aurora really was. When she entered Thorne's office, her son was reviewing projects with Aurora. "Thorne, may I speak with you?" "Of course, Mother." "Aurora, we'll continue in a moment." After Aurora left, Cordelia sat down. "Thorne, I watched your press conference last night. And I was wrong. Aurora is a very valuable woman." Thorne was surprised. "Do you really think so?" "Yes, and the way you're fighting for her shows how special she is." "Mother, you owe Aurora an apology." "I know. And I will apologize." When Cordelia found Aurora, she was in the kitchen. "Aurora, may I speak with you?" Aurora tensed. "Of course, ma'am. First, I want to apologize. I was unfair to you." Aurora was surprised. Ma'am, you are truly an extraordinary woman. You make Thorne very happy. Thank you. This means a lot. Cordelia smiled. I now see you as part of the family. That evening, Aurora and Thorne were on the roof again. This time, however, it wasn't just the two of them, it was their future together. What will happen tomorrow? Aurora asked. Tomorrow we'll settle accounts with Viktor. But tonight, it's just us. In Thorne's arms, Aurora watched Manhattan's lights. Finally, life had given her a second chance. In Blackridge Financial's meeting room, Thorne and Aurora developed a comprehensive strategy against Viktor. Raven's documents, Akira's evidence, and the notes of their legal advisor were spread across the table. Viktor's biggest mistake was documenting everything, Thorne said, tapping his finger on the papers. These transfers, fake document orders, bribe payments. Everything is on record. Aurora examined the document. But documents alone aren't enough. Viktor is a powerful man. The legal process will take a long time. Then we'll hit him differently, Thorne said, determined. We'll destroy his reputation in the business world. How? We'll use our connections in Japan. Akira's support is crucial. At that moment, Aurora's phone rang. It was Akira. Takashi-san, how are you? Aurora-san, I have very important news. I found Satoshi. Aurora's heart accelerated. Where? He was hiding in Osaka. But he can't hide anymore. The Japanese police caught him. What? We gave our documents to the police. It was revealed that Satoshi stole money from many companies. The total damage is 500 million yen. Aurora signaled to Thorne and put the phone on speaker. Takashi-san, this is great news. What about his connection with Viktor? That's there too. Satoshi confessed everything to the police. He said Viktor bribed and pressured him to give false testimony. Thorne interjected. Can this evidence be used in court? Of course, Blackridge-san. The Japanese police are preparing an official report. After the phone call ended, Aurora joyfully hugged Thorne. Now all the truth has come out. But we're not finished yet. We need to stop Viktor. Meanwhile, Viktor Ravenhill had gone mad upon learning of his daughter's betrayal. He called Raven to his office and shouted angrily, How dare you betray me? I'm your father. Raven remained calm. Dad, what you did was wrong. Aurora is an innocent woman. Innocent? She's Blackridge's weapon. No, Dad. You've become paranoid. There's no reason for you to hate Thorne this much. Viktor slammed his fist on the table. He ruins all my deals. He ruins all my deals. Dad, competition is normal. But you resorted to illegal means. Illegal? This is business. Raven stood up. This isn't business, Dad. This is a crime. You're not my daughter anymore. Fine. Then so be it. As Raven left the room, Viktor called his assistant, Marcus. Marcus, send a message to Blackridge. Tell them that if they take me to court, I'll destroy them. What kind of message? A threat. An open threat. 2 hours later, a courier arrived at Blackridge Financial. In the envelope was a threatening letter written in Viktor's handwriting. Blackridge, you won't win this war. If you try to destroy me, I'll destroy you and your woman too. VR. When Thorne read the letter, he became enraged. This idiot is threatening us now too. Aurora was worried. Thorne, this is serious. There's no telling what Viktor might do. He's trying to scare us. But it's too late now. Thorne immediately called his legal advisor, David. David, add Viktor's threatening letter to the file. This man has incriminated himself. That afternoon, Aurora had a video call with Yuki Sasaki. Yuki had important news from Tokyo. Aurora-san, Satoshi's confessions have changed not only your situation but also Viktor's. How so? Viktor's illegal connections with his company in Japan have been exposed. Bribery, fake documents, market manipulation. Very serious crimes. How does this affect Viktor? The Japanese government is revoking all of his company's licenses. It's a $2 billion loss. Aurora was shocked. Is it really that bad? Yes, and there's more. Other Asian countries have started investigating Viktor's company, too. That evening, breaking news appeared on financial news channels. Ravenhill Industries shares have fallen 40%. The company has decided to withdraw from Asian market. Accusations of fraud against Viktor Ravenhill are increasing. Japan and South Korea imposed sanctions on Viktor's company. Viktor went crazy watching the news in his office. His company was collapsing. "This is Blackridge's doing," he shouted. Marcus was worried. "Viktor, maybe we should stop now. The situation is very bad." "No. I'm Viktor Ravenhill. I don't give up." But it was too late. The company's shares continued to fall. Investors were panicking. Meanwhile, Raven had met with Atlas. "Atlas, my father has completely lost control. Are you worried?" "Yes, there's no telling what he'll do now. Let's warn Aurora and Thorne." "I already warned them. But my father can be very dangerous." Atlas touched Raven's shoulder. "You acted very bravely. It wasn't easy to go against your own father. But I did the right thing. Aurora is a good person." That night, Aurora and Thorne watched Viktor's collapse on television. "Incredible," Aurora said, shaking her head. "A few days ago, he was trying to destroy us." "Evil destroys itself," Thorne said, holding Aurora's hand. "But I feel sorry for Raven. She lost her father. Raven is a strong girl. Atlas is supporting her." Aurora looked out at Manhattan from the window. "Is this war really over?" Thorne hugged her tightly. "It's over. Viktor can't do anything anymore." But neither of them knew that Viktor was preparing to play his last card. This time, his target would be personal, not just business. The storm had calmed, but the hurricane wasn't over yet. Do you think Viktor deserved his fate? Was Raven's betrayal of her father an act of courage or family disloyalty? I await your comments. 6 months later, the city of New York was decorated with golden autumn leaves. Aurora was reading the latest news in her office as the assistant CEO of Blackridge Financial. The headline in the Wall Street Journal made her eyes sparkle. Viktor Ravenhill sentenced to 15 years in prison. When Thorne entered her office, he found Aurora smiling. "What are you reading?" "Viktor's sentence is final. 15 years in prison and $500 million in compensation. Justice has been served," Thorne said, placing a document on her desk. "This is also good news for us." Aurora looked at the document. "What's this?" "It's from the New York Business Council. Our Blackridge-Takashi partnership was selected as Deal of the Year." Aurora jumped up with joy. "Really? Thanks to the $500 million Tokyo-New York Financial Bridge project. You deserve this award." "We deserve it," Aurora said as she hugged Thorne. Akira Takashi opened a video conference. "Congratulations. I'm coming from Tokyo to celebrate this success." "When are you coming?" Thorne asked. "Next week. I have a big surprise." That surprise was Akira announcing that all charges against Aurora in Japan had been cleared. The Japanese government had sent Aurora an official letter of apology. That week, Atlas talked with Scarlett in the kitchen. They both now accepted Aurora's success. "Atlas, I must confess. I was wrong about Aurora," Scarlett said sincerely. "She's really a wonderful woman. She makes Thorne very happy. I've never seen him smile this much. I think it's time for them to get married." Atlas grinned mischievously. "You think so too?" "Of course. They're in love. Everyone can see it." Meanwhile, Thorne was making special preparations in Central Park. He had installed hundreds of candles, flowers, and light strings under Bow Bridge. He waited for the perfect moment to propose with the diamond ring in his pocket. On Saturday evening, Aurora and Thorne went to Central Park for an ordinary walk. Aurora had no suspicions. "The weather is nice today," she said, watching the leaves. "You're more beautiful," Thorne said, smiling nervously. As they approached Bow Bridge, Aurora saw the lights. "What's this?" Thorne stopped and held her hands. 6 months ago, my life changed completely. "Thorne, you showed me that you're not just a business partner but a life partner." Aurora's heart started beating rapidly. "You made me a better person. You taught me what it means to love you." Thorne got down on one knee. Aurora's breath caught. "Aurora Winters, will you marry me?" The diamond ring sparkled in the moonlight. Aurora couldn't hold back her tears. Yes. Of course, yes. As Thorne slipped the ring onto her finger, Aurora cried with happiness. The people gathered around them started applauding. I love you so much, she said, kissing him. I love you too. The next week, wedding preparations began. The most surprising development was Atlas and Scarlet deciding to work together. Atlas, can you organize the flowers? Scarlet took note. Sure. I'll choose white roses, Aurora's favorite. I'm handling the catering. I found the best chefs. Scarlet, you've changed, Atlas said with a smile. Aurora showed me how wrong I was. She's a wonderful woman. Cordelia Blackridge had gone wedding dress shopping with Aurora. They wandered around the most luxurious boutiques on Madison Avenue. This dress is perfect for you, Cordelia said, touching Aurora's shoulder. Do you really like it? It's very beautiful. Thorne will faint when he sees you. Aurora's eyes welled up with tears. Thank you for loving me like your daughter. You really are my daughter now, Aurora. How could I not love the woman who makes Thorne so happy? On the wedding day, a magnificent ceremony was held at the Lincoln Center in Central Park. The garden was decorated with hundreds of white roses and lights. The 200 guests included Akira Takashi, Yuki Sasaki, Raven, Atlas, Scarlet, and prominent business figures. While Aurora got ready in the bridal suite, Cordelia stood by her side. Are you nervous? Very. But I'm very happy. You look beautiful. Thorne is very lucky. I'm the lucky one. He loved me when no one else did. When the music started, Aurora walked with Atlas, since she didn't have a father. He smiled proudly throughout the wedding, watching his friend's happiness. When Thorne saw Aurora, he was taken aback by her beauty. She was so beautiful. You look absolutely stunning, he whispered. You look very handsome, too. Pastor William began the ceremony, speaking about love, courage, and second chances. When it was time for the vows, Thorne spoke first. Aurora, you came into my life at an unexpected moment and changed everything. You taught me what true love is. I promise to be faithful to you forever. Aurora responded with tears. Thorne, you reminded me of my own worth. You trusted me, protected me, and loved me. I can't wait to spend a lifetime with you. I now pronounce you husband and wife. Everyone stood and applauded during the kiss. Akira shouted, Banzai. Atlas cried with happiness. During the reception, everyone gave beautiful speeches about the couple. This love story is a real miracle, said Cordelia, raising her glass. Aurora and Thorne's story shows us that true love overcomes every obstacle. Akira spoke, their love is a real miracle. Late at night, while Aurora and Thorne were dancing, they whispered to each other, Is this real? Is this real? It's the most real thing. You're now Mrs. Blackridge. Aurora Blackridge, she said, smiling. Sounds nice. As they danced, the lights of Manhattan sparkled behind them. Two hearts were united forever. Atlas and Scarlet sat side by side, watching them. Good thing they met, Scarlet said sincerely. Good thing they fought, Atlas added. At the end of the night, Aurora and Thorne flew to Japan on a private jet for their honeymoon. Akira would meet them in Tokyo. On the plane, Aurora leaned on Thorne's shoulder. What happens next? From now on, there will only be happiness. And indeed it was so. 1 year later. Good morning, New York. We're live on the Bloomberg Business Channel. Today, our guest is Aurora Blackridge, winner of the Woman Entrepreneur of the Year award. Aurora sat in the television studio, confidently answering questions. Her company, Blackridge Winters Financial, was now one of the most respected names on Wall Street. Mrs. Blackridge, no one knew you a year ago. Now you're number 15 on Forbes' Most Powerful 100 Women list. What's the secret to this success? Aurora smiled. Life gives everyone a second chance. The important thing is recognizing that chance and courageously seizing it. Can you talk about the difficulties you faced in the past? My experience in Japan taught me valuable lessons. Sometimes the biggest failures become the foundation of the greatest successes. Your company is targeting $2 billion in revenue this year. How do you explain these figures? Together with my husband, Thorne, I built an east-west financial bridge. Thanks to our partnerships with Japan, South Korea, and Singapore, we have become a global power. When the interview ended, Aurora returned home. In their penthouse overlooking Central Park, Thorne had prepared breakfast. I watched your interview. You were wonderful, he greeted her. Thank you. I'm very happy this morning. I'm happy too. Actually, I have a surprise for you. Aurora looked at him curiously. What surprise? Thorne handed her a box. Inside was a pregnancy test. What's this? Aurora asked, surprised. I found it in the bathroom last night while you were sleeping. Would you like to check the result? Aurora's hand trembled. She took the test and looked at it. There were 2 lines. Is this positive? Yes. Thorne shouted with joy. I'm going to be a father. Aurora hugged Thorne, tears streaming down her face. I'm going to be a mother. Really? Are you really pregnant? It looks like it. While they were crying with happiness, the phone rang. It was Atlas. Aurora, how are you feeling today? You spoke very well on television. Atlas, I have good news for you. You're going to be an uncle. A scream came from the other end of the phone. Really? Are you pregnant? Yes. We just found out. I'm coming right away. This is news worth celebrating. Half an hour later, Atlas arrived with a bouquet of flowers. Scarlett accompanied him. Congratulations, Aurora. Scarlett hugged her sincerely. You're going to be a wonderful mother. Aurora was surprised. Scarlett, you've changed so much. You showed me how wrong I was. I really love you now. Atlas danced with happiness. I'm going to be an uncle. I'll teach the child everything. Calm down, Atlas, Aurora laughed. It's still very early. At that moment, the computer sounded a video call alert. It was Akira Takashi calling from Tokyo. Aurora-san. Thorne-san. How are you? We have good news, Thorne said excitedly. I'm pregnant. Aurora appeared on the screen. Akira clapped his hands with joy. Omedetou gozaimasu. This is wonderful news. Thank you. Since you'll be a grandfather soon, you're now considered a friend of the family. This is a great honor for me. When the baby is born, we'll celebrate in Tokyo. Yuki Sasaki joined the conversation. Aurora-san, this is amazing. We'll send gifts from Japan. In the afternoon, Raven came to the office. She was now the company's legal advisor and was doing very well. Aurora, I heard the news from Atlas. I'm so happy. Thank you, Raven. You're part of our family now, too. I'm grateful that you accepted me after what my father did. Raven, you acted very bravely. We see you as family. I love you very much, too. I'll take care of all the legal matters for the child. That evening, Aurora and Thorne went for a walk in Central Park. The sun was setting, and the lights in Manhattan were starting to turn on. A year ago, you proposed to me in this park, Aurora said. It was our most beautiful day. Today is even more beautiful than that. We're going to have a child. Thorne hugged Aurora tightly. You changed my life. You changed mine, too. Standing on Bow Bridge, they took in the enchanting view of Manhattan. Aurora, do you remember that first day? You came out of the kitchen and said, I know Japanese. Aurora laughed. I was so scared. But a voice inside me said, try. Good thing you listened to that voice. Good thing you trusted me, too. Sometimes the biggest opportunities arise from the most unexpected moments. Thorne touched Aurora's belly with his finger. Exactly. Our story is the most beautiful proof of that. When the sun had completely set, Manhattan's lights began to shine. The view, stretching from Central Park to the skyscrapers, was enchanting. In the future, our child will look at this view, Aurora said, daydreaming. And we'll tell them the love story of their mother and father. How will we tell it? How your mother courageously entered our lives, how your father trusted her, and how they stood together against all difficulties. Aurora smiled, tears in her eyes. And finally, how true love triumphed over everything. Hand in hand, they walked under the lights of Manhattan. The pains of the past were left behind. The future was full of hope. Aurora's story was one of transformation, from cook to successful businesswoman, from lonely person to beloved wife and mother. Thorne's story was about his transformation from an arrogant millionaire into an understanding husband and from a man who only cared about making money to a person who found true love. Now, a new chapter was beginning. The story of their family. The camera slowly pulled back. The couple walked hand in hand against the backdrop of Manhattan's glittering skyline, looking confidently toward the future. Sometimes the biggest opportunities arise from the most unexpected moments.